Good afternoon. We're going to listen to the second half of that Walter Murch tape while we do some scribbles for the burn pile. So let's do that.
Move from that point on, just to see how it would satisfy myself. The disintegration of
We're going to use this for some inspiration.
The areas, working with the areas so that there are no solid flat areas of paint. This is also part of the thing that I work with, have been working with recently, and it helps me to make a painting and break down the subject. In the exhibition, in which this was shown, there were maybe 10 paintings, and I felt rewarded by the comment of a friend who said that he looked at the paintings and there was nothing there, you see. And I really felt that I had done something when he reacted that way. The fact that it was, the painting itself was so broken up, disintegrated, yet it was there, but it wasn't. This is I'd say about 12 years ago, and it's a smoked whitefish, and I simply bought it in the delicatessen shop, and before I bought it, I looked at it, and I knew at that instant that I could paint it. Well, not because it was a fish, but it was smoked, and the skin was golden, and the whole thing became a piece of metal to me, and I knew that I could paint metal. Now, all right, if it happened to be a fish or anything, that was incidental to the idea that it was gold, and therefore paintable. Now, I don't think that I can paint flesh, let's say, because something, I just don't think that way, let's say. But I do know that I can paint fabric, metal, rock, and various other elements. But I'm not good with flesh, let's say, or the human figure.
Guys, this is Walter Murch speaking in 1964 about his paintings.
Next one down. This is a painting of the same subject used in the drawing that you have already seen. And the metal, it seems made it easier for me to make the idea that it was original is about, 18 by, maybe 24. See the next one, Bob? Just a drawing of a brass kettle with fabric, and with no idea that it would turn into anything. In fact, I just dabbed at it, and there was no effort to make anything of it. But as it developed, it seemed to interest me, and carried it through to the point, not finished, but I tried to leave it at a point where it was the most exciting. As I had it framed and took it down to the gallery, I couldn't bear to look at it because I felt that there were still 1,000 things that I had to do with. Yet, it's as if I did have to glaze my eyes so that I wouldn't see all the weaknesses and the imperfections. And, I don't know how to explain that. It seems to happen almost with every painting that never really seems funny. And I know that Lavani, for instance, works very consciously with this mind that simply paints, accepts the fact that he is an artist, and therefore anything done after that acceptance is bound to have some value. Now, he will drop working on a painting the moment it reaches a kind of peak of excitement. And after that, anything seems to be superfluous. Bob, I think we can see the next one. Say, ending also in 62, and I don't know whether this is as successful as some. It's hard to have me to tell when they're really going to work well or not. But I accept the idea that every painting is a risk, and I hope that everyone will be good, but I also accept the idea that we're all human beings, and it's very hard to say at an extremely high level all the time. In any exhibition of a painter's work, you may see work works that you like better than others. You accept the idea that it is all art. Some are less exciting than others. This actually happens in any exhibition. It's all art because the artist accepts himself as an artist, but as a human being, he can't possibly perform at a high level all the time, at an exciting high level all the time. This is see the next one, Bob? This is a study or a drawing of a rock that, I made the painting first and made the drawing of it. It's a reverse process. But that's all right. I thought that it would be an interesting drawing to make, using the same subject as the painting itself. Also made on lapis. See the next one now? This is melon, as you can see, and it was made on the front side of the rocket. And the stain on the right was the stain of the paste itself. Little design in the wallpaper itself, staining, and it's wash, crayon, and all of the else I can use. I'm glad to see it this way. It's reversed, but just leave it that way because it fortunately doesn't matter. It's a bricks set up right in front of me, 3 feet away. Painted them, but only an excuse to let something happen. Now, the canvas I used was an old canvas board that I had around for about 5 years, and had mixed color on it and cans of pink and the rest of it. And all right, that's all right. Okay. The texture astounded me, and I became interested in that. Each painting and or drawing seems to reach a point when it has an existence of its own. At a certain point, that work has developed a look or a face, you might say, all its own. And you must go on with this. You can't really fight that because that's what it is. It exists in its own right. And you must go through with it. But sometimes the painting doesn't live. I mean, it just dies. And you hope that it will live, but it won't. You see the next one, Bob? This is a wash drawing of an automobile car lock, door lock. And again, this just setting it up. And actually, this was a very hard to make. And I believe that there are those drawings or paintings that you just do, and they don't seem to have much of a pattern, or so be it. But there are those that are more difficult. And you just do that. They're harder, that's all. Take a little bit longer. It's wash, crayon, turpentine wash, left it out on the porch for about a week, and brought it back and worked on it a little bit more, and then just frame it and work on it. I think we can see the next one down. No, that's not mine. It's Snowstorm by Turner. And I got it along because he is one of my heroes, and has been for some time. And I just think that it is necessary to link yourself with some artist, some kindred person, living or dead, so that as you work, you do have in the back of your mind the idea of, in this case, this man, Turner. He existed as a painter and had exactly the same problems to face as you do as artists. Now, you are able to set up a comparison on, very easily, I think, because you're both on the same level, because you are both aiming for the same thing. Now, you then may compare what he did and what you're doing, you see, so that how does your effort as an artist seem to add up while you look at a man like Turner, and you do see what he was able to do. This was done, of course, at the beginning of his, I can't say old age, but he actually removed himself human society, and lived with his old father in their house, and it was at that time that I think that he really began to do what he wanted. And in this particular painting, he has simply painted air, A-I-R. Incidentally, there's a boat, there's a storm, there's water, but mostly it's just air. And when you do think that we exist as human beings within an ocean of air that surrounds the globe, we paint in it, we see things in it. I don't see an apple as an apple. I see the air that exists between the apple and my eye, and that's what I paint. Not the apple and orange, but I paint the air between that object and my eye and beyond the object. And that's the only thing that I want to paint. Of course, I accept composition, and this must be faced. You must have the structure, the architecture, and strength within the rectangle of the painting. Well, there are many other things that could be said about Turner. He willed 19,000 drawings and paintings to the two museums in Queen. 19,000. I mean, it really makes one wonder what he did with his ability. I mean, the assurance, the fact that he accepted himself. So I think we can see the next one now. Getting back to normal. This is a painting of an automobile heater, and it was done about 10 years ago. And again, metal, and the heat had discolored the metal of the object itself, so that it became pink, green, blue, and I wanted to paint this. You see the next one done? This is a piece of masonry. I mean, it's rock slab, you might say. And the actual size of the object was about this big. I got it on 59th Street when they were destroying one of the old buildings. And asked the foreman if I could simply get one of those pieces, and willingly gave it to me. I carried it home, set it up, and was there for about a year before I decided to do anything about it. In that same position, I have a 10-year-old loaf of bread. I have a 15-year-old lemon. I have a pear, flowered. I have a grapefruit, of course, that goes back very far indeed. But then the paint itself seemed to be the thing I wanted to work with most of all. Incidentally, it was a good shape, you see. I mean, the rock itself, and that seemed to solve a problem as far as composition would be concerned. You see the next one, Bob? A drawing of a piece of rock. Just crayon. Not very big. It's only about this big, actual size. You see the next one, Bob? Rock again. This is actually it's in color, but again I was unable to get a color slide of it. But it just seemed to be hard work, you know, just to get the thing the way I wanted it. And again, I can only say that when I decided to put the brush down, I still had the feeling that there were hundreds of things that had to be done, and it was only by a kind of force that I stopped working on it. See the next one, Bob? No, this also isn't mine, but it's, I'm showing the Turner, and this happens to be one or two slides of the cave paintings at Glasgow, and they have a very special meaning to me, and all I can say is that as I work, I have such things in the back of my mind. I mean, I have this and Turner in the back of my mind, so that it seems to help me. It seems to give me some sort of help or assistance. The fact that in this particular painting, this is actually 9 feet wide, and it was painted between 20 and 30,000 years ago. And this dates haven't visited Glasgow, but when I see, even in reproduction, the animalism, the brutality, the sheer force and hatred brought out in those two animals, and it was done 25,000 years ago, you see. In the caves of Glasgow, there is evidence that there was an art school in existence, and they trained to do this. They actually had some sort of a blowing method, like in a hollowed bone, and then blow across the top of the hollow bone, much like the Irish. This would flip the color on the nail. And but the important thing about Glasgow seems to be a theory that has been worked out by one of the artist archaeologists, and I think it makes a great deal of sense. And he says that the Glasgow paintings were done by the reindeer, or in the reindeer man period, and they were rich. And man, as he existed before, was a working man. I mean, all he did or thought about was to work, and there was always a feeling of guilt associated with his existence. Now, suddenly, to be able to make something like this would mean the removal of guilt, that it was all right to make something like this, that you shouldn't be out working or killing or hunting. Now there was evidence of the existence of certain individuals who really worked this out. And the artists worked in the same atmosphere as exists during Mardi Gras, where you are not held responsible. You can do anything you want, and it's all right, you see. Now the next one is the exact opposite in mood. Very gentle, very feminine, and it is actually deer fording a river. And this is a close-up of one of the deer's heads. And in the next one, Bob, it shows the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there are more, but they really did it. I mean, they're fording a river, and you feel the gentleness and that feminine look is there as compared to the bison and brutality that exists now. All done 25,000 years ago, you see. I mean, this is really something to think about. And I think we've made progress since then. We are no longer naive. See the next one down? This is simply painting of a piece of masonry, ledge. On paper. Not on canvas, but just on drawing paper. See the next one, Bob? This is the painting that was done before the drawing of the rock you saw earlier. And again, say black and white of color painting, but oriental rock, and this was it. We just organized. And I do feel that in the use of certain subjects within the composition, that you really must discriminate because the historical weight of the object can interfere with your existence as an artist. For instance, I felt as I worked on the rug that it was all right to include the idea of ornamental designs and thought, so that as you look at any painting, and there is the use of the subject, you instantly bring in the weight of that as subject, you see. Now, sometimes that can utterly destroy the painting because it is so strong and so potent that you, as the artist, don't exist at all. That work becomes total subject and you're out. You're just non-existent. But you really have to balance this off and work with it and consider the impact of the weight of the subject itself, well, historically. See the next one, Bob? Well, this is actually
Guys, that's what I use for inspiration. I
it's highly
didn't fully try to copy it, but that's what came out of it. Just grab something that inspires you and springboard off of it.